Hi, this is Janak Reddy Dubaka. In this video, we are going to discuss one important concept from Ydse. See the problem. See here, in Young's double slit experiment, the upper slit is covered by a thin glass plate of refractive index 4 by 3 and of the thickness 9 lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of the light used in the experiment. The lower slit is also covered by another glass plate of thickness 2 lambda and refractive index 3 by 2. If I naught is the intensity at point P due to the slits S1, S2 each. Here are the options. We have to discuss one by one. First one, by inserting the glass plates in front of the slits, there is an extra path difference. See, here is a path difference due to first slit, that is delta x1, mu1 minus 1 into t1. This becomes mu1 is given as 4 by 3, 4 by 3 minus 1, and thickness is 9 lambda. Therefore, this is 1 by 3 into 9 lambda. This becomes 3 lambda. This is due to first slit. And the second glass plate, the path difference mu2 minus 1 into t2. Therefore, here mu2 is given as 3 by 2 minus 1 and thickness is given as 2 lambda. Therefore, this becomes 2 lambda by 2. Therefore, this is lambda. Therefore, the net path difference due to these two glass plates, delta x is equal to delta x1 minus delta x2, that is 3 lambda minus lambda. This is equal to 2 lambda. Therefore, here the path difference due to this glass plate is more than this one. Therefore, total fringe pattern is shift upwards. Now, at this point P, before insertion of the glass plate, the path difference is 0. But after insertion of glass plates, there is some path difference. That path difference is equal to 2 lambda. Therefore, at point B, we have to find out the intensity. Therefore, if you want to find out the intensity, we have to know the phase difference. Then, phase difference pi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. That is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Delta x is equal to 2 lambda. Lambda, lambda cancel. This becomes 4 pi. Now, intensity at point P is equal to 4 I naught cos square pi by 2. Therefore, 4 I naught cos square pi means 4 pi by 2. This is 2 pi. Therefore, cos 2 pi minus 1 cos square pi 1. Therefore, this becomes 4 I naught. Therefore, at point P, intensity is equal to 4 I naught due to the insertion of glass plates. See here the first option, the intensity at point P is 4 I naught. Therefore, option 1 is correct. Then what about option 2? See here, 3 fringes have been shifted in upward direction after insertion of both the plates together. See here, number of fringes shifted, n is equal to total path difference by lambda. Total path difference is here given as 2 lambda. Therefore, 2 lambda by lambda, that is equal to 2. Therefore, number of fringes shifted is 2, but it is given as 3. Therefore, here second option is wrong. And what about third one? Optical path difference between the waves from S1 and S2 at a point P is 3 lambda, but in our solution it is given as 2 lambda. Therefore, option 3 also wrong. See, option 4, it is very interesting one. See here, if the source S is shifted upwards by a small distance d2, then fringes originally at P after inserting the plates shift downwards d into d1 by d2. See here, one important thing I have to find out. See here, this is the source slits S1, S2, and this is the screen, and this distance is d, and between the slits this is d. Here is the source, and this distance is given as d1. See, here from the source the light travels like this. Before reaching the slits, there is no initial path difference. But here path difference from S1 to P, S2 P, here delta x is equal to 0. If you take point P here, Here is the path difference at P. Delta P is equal to dy by d. This path difference I am taking delta geometry. Therefore, delta geometry is equal to dy by d. And delta plates is equal to here 2 lambda. If the source is shifted from S2 here, this distance is d2. Therefore, before reaching the rays from S2 S1, there is a path difference. Rays are like this. There is a path difference between, these are the lights. There is a path difference between these two. That is the path difference due to source. That source is equal to here is d, here also d. Here y means I am taking d2, and this d means this distance d1. Therefore, these are the three types of path differences. This is due to geometry of the slits, and this is due to by introducing the plates here 2 lambda. When a source is shifted upwards, this is the path difference between the source. Therefore, initially the source is not shifted upwards. At point P, the path difference is 2 lambda. Therefore, path difference is 2 lambda. Generally, for bright fringe, delta x is equal to n lambda. Therefore, the order of the bright fringe n is equal to 2. Order of the bright fringe n is equal to 2. Therefore, by shifting S to S2, at point B, there is no second order of bright fringe. This second order of bright fringe, by shifting this source, therefore fringe pattern shift downwards. Due to the plates, it is upwards. Therefore, here this fringe, second order bright fringe is not formed at P, it will shift somewhere. At that point, what is the total path difference? Therefore, the total path difference, one is due to plates, plus one is due to geometry, plus one is due to source. Therefore, for bright fringe, second order bright fringe is position shift, but path difference same 2 lambda at point P. Therefore, this 2 lambda only due to the plates. Therefore, the geometry, path difference due to geometry and the source cancel each other. Means they are in opposite direction, equal in magnitude. Then only the path difference between the plates is 2 lambda. Therefore, here delta geometry is equal to delta source. Therefore, delta geometry means that is dy by d. Delta source means d into d2 by d1. d into d2 by d1. Therefore, here y is the displacement of that second order maxima shifted downwards. Therefore, y is equal to this d gets cancelled. Y is equal to d2 into d by d1. This is the shift of a second order bright fringe from point P to downwards. Therefore, in option, it is given as d into d1 by d2. But here, this is d2 into d by d1. Therefore, option 4 also wrong. Therefore, only option 1 is correct. See the concept. How interest. Okay.